Hi students, we're back to reading Miss Daisy is Crazy, and we just finished chapter 4, which is also called Miss Daisy is Crazy, if you look right here. But what happened in chapter 4? What do you guys remember? Well, the group of students were talking about their teacher, Miss Daisy, but they don't think she's really their teacher, because she doesn't know how to spell read, she can't do math, she can't write, so they're like, I wonder if our teacher got stolen and replaced by this other person called Miss Daisy. So the students are trying to think, is she really their teacher, or is she really that silly? So we're to chapter 5, the most genius idea. After lunch, we had recess, which means we get to go out in the playground and run around. Miss Daisy said we needed to burn off energy. Now, this is more my style, I announced when we got outside. I made a beeline for the monkey bars. Then me and some other kids hit the swings. After that, all the boys had a contest to see who could spin around in circles the longest without throwing up. Michael Robertson won. Then we all sat down on the grass. Even though Miss Daisy was pretty cool, we all agreed that we disliked school. We made a promise to one another that we would dislike school forever, even if we changed our minds and decided that we liked school. That's when Ryan came up with the most genius idea in the history of the world. This was his idea. We should buy the school. Ryan told us that his father worked for this big company and that once his father's company bought some other company, just like you would go into a store and buy a candy bar. Ryan said it happens all the time. He said he didn't see any reason why we couldn't buy the school just like that. If we bought the school, what would we do with it? Michael Robertson asked. We can do anything we want with it. We will own it. We could turn it into a video game arcade, I asked. Sure, why not? Instead of teaching reading and writing and arithmetic, we could teach kids how to play video games. And we can ride skateboards in the hallways, asked Michael Robertson. Sure, we could, Ryan said, if we owned it. I got all excited because if there's one thing that I like to do almost as much as playing football, it's playing video games. Oh, and riding skateboards. I started emptying out my pockets. I had a nickel, 3 pennies, and a lifesaver. The boys emptied their pockets too. We separated all the pennies, nickels, and dimes into little piles. And then we added up all the money. We had $1.32. Whoa, Michael Robertson said, that's a lot of money. I don't think it's enough to buy a school, Ryan said. Who knew a thing or two about financial matters because his father worked for this big company? Well, how much do you need to buy a school? I asked. Beats me, said Ryan. We'll better ask Miss Daisy. We all rushed inside after recess and asked Miss Daisy how much it would cost to buy the school. Gee, I don't know, said Miss Daisy, who didn't seem to know much of anything. Why do you want to buy the school? We wanted to turn it into a video game arcade, I told her. What a great idea, she beamed. I love video games. There are so many schools and so few video game arcades. It makes perfect sense to turn some of those schools into video game arcades. I'll arrange a meeting with Mr. Klutz tomorrow so we can ask him if we can buy the school. But right now we have to go to Miss Coney's office. Miss Coney's office is down the hall from our class. She says she's the school nurse, but personally I think she's a spy. I'll tell you why. There's this big poster on her wall that says this. And let me show you the poster on her wall. Do you think that's spy code? Or where would you see that type of sign in a doctor's office with different letters that you have to see? I tried to read it, and it didn't make any sense at all. Even Andrea Young didn't know how to read the poster, and she knows everything. I think Miss Cooney had created a secret code, and she's using this poster to send mysterious spy messages. I'll have to keep an eye on her. When we walk into Miss Cooney's office, she had us all line up in size order. I was one of the shortest kids, so I had to stand in the front of the line. Then Miss Cooney told us to take off our shoes. At first I thought she didn't want us to track mud all over her office. And then she told us that she was going to weigh and measure us. Obviously, she's trying to gather information about us because that is what spies do. My friend Billy says that the heavier you are, the smarter you are because heavy people have bigger brains. But I think Billy just says that because he is overweight. I weigh 52 pounds. Miss Cooney showed us this awesome ruler she had. It is made of metal and stretches out 6 feet long. When she presses a button, the whole thing shoots into her hand and disappears like magic. That's cool. I bet she has a lot of other cool spy tools too. She wouldn't let us play with her magic ruler, but Miss Cooney ran around measuring everything. She showed us that the bench we were sitting on was 17 inches high, the door to her office was 30 inches across, and her foot was 12 inches long. Hey, my foot is a foot, Miss Cooney explained. Now, the reason that's funny, my foot is a foot, is because 12 inches equals 1 foot. So that's why it's kind of funny. And his foot measured 12 inches. Aren't all feet feet, I ask? Some feet are less than a foot, and some feet are more than a foot, she replied. But my foot is exactly a foot. I had no idea what she was talking about, Miss Coney. Miss Coney wrapped the measuring tape around her forehead and announced, "Look, my head is almost 2 feet in circumference." I knew that circumference was the distance all the way around a circle, and diameter was the distance through the middle of the circle. "What's the diameter of your head, Mrs. Cooney?" I asked. Everybody laughed, even though I didn't say anything funny. "That would be hard to measure, but isn't measuring things fun?" Miss Coney asked. "I wonder how much this scale weighs." Miss Coney started to measure and weigh more things, but Miss Daisy said we had to go back to class. So do you think Miss Coney's a spy with all of her cool tools in her nurse's office? I wonder. What do you guys think? Now we are done with chapter 5, and now next time we are going to be reading chapter 6. What do you want to be? So what do you think from the title this chapter is going to be about? What do you want to be? And I'll catch you guys next time.